Okay, so what we discussed is we discussed earlier the NLB. NLB has these backend two servers what we have created. So if you open the google.com, and user would open this example. This can be your myapp.com example, mycompanyportal.com, something like that. So it is working fine with the NLB. But now what happens is your company in a regular day, you are getting maybe 10,000 hits maybe per hour, okay, example, or maybe per day basis example. But due to huge discounts, um, it might be increase the customers hit to this application, which is causing CPU utilization to more than the what you regularly expect. So example, instead of the instead of the just the instead of the 10,000 users, you are hitting more than maybe a 1 million hits example. During that time it cannot handle this. Definitely the service cannot handle. So what we can do is, in such situations, okay, you have an option where you create your availability set. Okay, create your availability set. Okay, or you configure your NLB. Okay, okay, so you have your different end users who are hitting to this NLB example. And once the load is coming to your machines, okay, the machine automatically adjusts based on the request. Say example, if my CPU percentage is going more than 50 percentage, okay, definitely, maybe I can guess that it may go up furthermore. So, or my server may not handle that request, whichever more than 50% is coming up. So I need a backup machine, okay, which will serve. I mean, my NLB dynamically has to create a rule for this to handle that request, so that I mean the load doesn't increase for this machine. Okay, similarly, I mean, this is basically splitting the load, right? So this is something called scale set. Okay, what is a scale set? Scale set is where if a resource hunger is happening or stress is coming on a CPU or a disk, okay, you can increase your resources. Okay, these I mean these settings can be fully automated or can be done manually also. Okay, so the scale sets are purely based on the resource, how the resources are using. Say example, if the CPU percentage is up, going up, you can increase the number of xyz number of resources can be automatically spinned up. And similarly, when the this is the, for example, this is a benchmark, for example, for as 50 percentage. If it is below whatever it was spinned up, that should be go down. Okay, say example, if it is below 50 percentage, say it is at 40 percentage for the last 5 minutes, okay, then you don't need to have another machines which are spinned up automatically during the high load. Okay, can anybody summarize?
Okay, I'll just start, Raja. The scale set is nothing but whenever the utilization of CPU or the utilization of the virtual machine is high, the resources needs to be added automatically, and when the usage is low beyond the threshold limit, the resource utilization, the number of VMs or number of resource needs to be reduced automatically. It will be
Exactly.
called as scale set, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you try to create, you will be more clear what we are trying to do. Okay, so let me go back here. If you see here, there's something called scale set, but here you don't have. Either you go to the marketplace, okay, type uh, virtual machine scale set, okay, or you just drill down here, further down, and say click on more. You would see here definitely scale sets. This is the one. So if you don't have by default, you can click on the favorite so that this gets added. If you see here, I click here, so I can create a new scale set by adding or something like that. Say um, example this. It can be a scale set, can be my virtual machine, or can be Windows or Linux. It doesn't matter for me. So it's true is all the resources into one place. So that's fine. We can have, or do we have no resource groups? Okay, scale demo, and make sure that you don't have in a demo it can only create maximum 4. So I'll choose my West US2 example. Here definitely it's going to create even public IP based NLB, right? So you can create a new IP here with a static one, IP01. Domain name is LAN 502 example. No, it's not there. Somewhere we have. Okay, so whatever the VMs you wanted, okay, example my. So if you see here instant count, which is the number of virtual machines you want. Say example, I want just the one at this point of time, but the size of the VM is D1 V2. That's fine. Uh, this is unmanaged. This is unmanaged. You want to configure the auto scale. Auto scale is the option. Minimum it is spinning one VM. Okay. Maximum it can spin up to 10 when the CPU percentage is going to 75 percentage. Okay, so in my case I'm just trying to make it to um, 60 example easily, and the number of VMs to increase by scale set out would be one by one. So example earlier the initial start one would be the one, right? The initial start one is the minimum was the one. After reaching to 60 percentage I'll spin one, or I can spin maybe business critical, so I can think of spin two more. Okay, and when the CPU percentage goes down, okay, whatever these two got spinned up, it will be deleted automatically. Don't worry about your data, it's already there, because it's all into availability. Okay, high availability. So this is the key, the first VM, or if this VM gets deleted also, you'll have the similar VM, so there's nothing wrong in the data side. Okay, so let's think about it. Say example, I wanted to delete after 40 percentage. Okay, by decrease by one by one. Okay, say example, I can spin up here the number maybe two more. Okay, so total at least I should see three. In a demo, okay, what I've noticed is when I try to give it demo, more than four, I never been able to spin up because of the codes, all those limitations. Okay, so go for lesser in terms of resources so that you'll have a proper demo. Okay, but whereas with your subscription, that's a limitation basically. You take any of the region. Okay, example in this case West US. Okay, if I can't create more than four VMs there, or four cores in fact. Okay, so the VM size can be again chosen here in number one. Okay, so this is the one number one. Okay, now if I click OK, okay, so it's going to create. If you could see here on my portal.azure, there's nothing at this point of time. Under my all resources, this is where it will show you there's nothing. Okay, all means it can be NLB, it can be storage, or whatever it is. Okay, it's not there, including your scale set. So I'm going to create now by clicking OK. This starts creating. The first point would be the a resource group, so it's going to create a resource group. Let it create, and it also creates my NLB. There is a tools called uh, stress tools on CPU or disk. Okay, there's a free tools. Jam, yeah, Jam Software's heavy load is one of the tool. Okay, which is a free tool which you can put on your machine just to test the functionality. So I'm going to use this tool to uh, just to test the CPU performance. I would take it to high. Okay, and then automatically from my dashboard I should be able to see the CPU percentage is going up. Okay, so at this point of time it is 0 to 1 instances. Okay, and if I see here instances, it would be it's trying to create already. Okay, two VMs at least. Okay, and the scaling configuration, if I want to do a post configuration, I can do it here. Okay, uh, if I put it as enable automatic configuration, I can put it here. um, Auto enable, something like that. I mean, if I do a manual configuration later point, I can come here. I can do the auto configuration with the this is the instance count basically. But a specific instance also can be increased here if you want. uh, you can create a rule saying my CPU percentage is going up for 5 minutes continuously or 10 minutes duration. Okay, then these things should happen. Okay, you can have it. Let's have this a complete scale sheet should be create. Then we would check it what is happening. And if you want to see the VMs, actually it's a tricky part to see the VMs. And since it's a default configuration, you'll not have a control in the backend. You guys knows now what is backend. Backend is the connection between your NLB, right? This is if user is hitting NLB, so NLB will have backend machines, right? So what we are saying is with the auto scale set, it automatically creates a rule, automatically spins up this kind of new VMs, right? So this is auto configuration as a backend. So this is nothing but um, your backend. Okay, backend of this, right? So let's delete and check it the backend uh, pools what it is. So here it has created two VMs. Okay, and since the configuration what we have done is aggressive, okay, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes default configuration, if you see here it spins up automatically too. Okay, because of the booting time, or maybe initially the percentage is high, it takes that. We don't have a control on that. But if I go here instances, okay, it's still creating. If I click on this, you can always spin up. The sizing also can be done. It's take some time. So I'll simply go here. So it's the only one it is running. Where is my NLP? if we see here, what is happening is it is actually created a custom rule to point to this IP. So if I try to log in with MSTSC, okay, with this IP or with the name, if you remember, LAN 501, whatever the public IP name, okay, if you can remember the DNS name. I'll show you that DNS name. If you remember yesterday also we created a public IP and then with a DNS name, right? Similarly, similar fashion, you can have that FQDN here, uh, or simply go to 52.191.163.25, which is my load balanced IP, colon, okay, normally we enter 3389, right? Instead of that, actually the port is 50,000, okay, the port. So I would, put it into 50,000 to log in that machine, okay, and that would, what is happening is that is actually routing to target port as 3389. So when it reaches to NLB, it converts, okay, converts to 3389. Should admin? I don't remember the password always. Yeah, correct. So I'll repeat again. So what is happening is if this is your NLB, I'm trying to connect from here on a 50,000 port. There is a NATing happening behind the NLB. Okay, so whatever the port is coming, that gets converted into another port called 3389, and then it is logging with that protocol. So now, now what happens is I'm able to log in with this port with the internal NAT. Okay, this is what I have done now. Okay, with this method. Okay, these ports are dynamically created by your NLB, and we don't have a control at this point of time. Okay, and now let me go to my CPU and see how much load I have. See, I don't have much load. If you see 15 percentage, so in this situation, okay, it doesn't actually spin up. Okay, an average, it should be for 10 minutes or so. Let's have a look on the configuration, what we have configured. Okay, let's go to the scale sets. Okay, and do the scale set, auto scaling, which is scaling, but there is a rule already, default one. Okay, so scale out, and this is for scale in. Okay, for maximum of 10 minutes. Okay, so oh, okay, this is the limit. Okay, and let's edit this, not that. One second. So when scale set 1, average CPU percentage increases. Okay, okay, criteria is average CPU percentage increases greater than 60 threshold for 5 minutes. Okay, action is spin up 2. Okay, and cool down by 1. Okay, it creates 2 and then it cools down by 1. Okay, so what I'll do is this is the for the scale up. Okay, similarly, scale out plan also same, threshold of 40 percentage for the 5 minutes, so it is cooling down, so please decrease the count. Okay, now if you want to see the instance count, okay, what you'll do is you'll just go here, either see here 1 2 3, it has increased now automatically. In fact, I'm not done, but that's aggressive. If you see here, even not the CPU percentage, automatically it's going up for some reason. It's automatically doing that because whatever the configuration I have done is very aggressive configuration, which is 5 minutes. Okay, it may be a good deal, but look at the CPUs are just a one. So since the limitations I have with the VM sizes, I can't go for multiple VM cores. I have the limitation. That's why even without the CPU stress tool, it is working for me automatically. You're getting my point, right? So you spin up with a high-end CPU, high-end VM. Okay, to
But
sorry,
that stress tool,
yeah.
it's a stress tool monitor or what?
Okay, Linux guys, most of them knows what is stress tool, because we as admins, this is we don't use it. For example, let me download the tool for you. Okay, give me a second.
No, one thing, it is a stressful monitor or to make the computer stress so that we
Computer
can see
stress.
what is
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, exactly. Computer to be no.
To make the computer stress and
Yeah, so that we would know what is happening. So in this case, unfortunately, this is automatically creating my scale sets. Okay, because of whatever the reason. Okay, the CPU going up. Okay, and that's where it is having the problem. So it is trying to spin up. If the CPU goes down, okay, automatically it will remove that.
that part I understand. I doesn't understand only that
Yeah,
stress tool.
we'll download. We'll
Yes, sir.
download and see. Okay, what it does. You can download very similar tools, any of the tool which will put your resources hunger. Say example, you want to increase the utilization of your CPU to high. Okay, so what it does is this tool will put your CPU to work more, so you can achieve the CPU going up. So whatever the actions you want to do it with your script, you can do it, because we don't have a real time um, load on this server. So I can use these kind of tools which would create a load on the temporarily on the machine. So this can be a CPU based. This tool actually does on a memory and disk utilization, and even on a CPU. Say example, in this case, this is not a continuously going up and down, but sometimes it's down, sometimes it's up. So if I want to put more stress on just on a CPU, what I can do is I can go here and start stress. So what will happen is, this is for just for the GPU related, you can ignore this area. So now if you see here, the CPU is putting up very high all the time, 100%. Okay, so this is what it does actually. CPU, it's putting up, it is increasing. It will be like that the minutes you want it. Okay, so now automatically my scale set should actually, it was already running 3, so uh, it may go for one more, not more than that actually. Okay, so if I see instance here, I have 1 2 3. Okay, I can log into one other machine and put the same case. So it would I mean the same public IP. Okay, so it automatically puts the load, and it increases your CPU uh, load, so that here it increases the count. So this is what happens with the scale sets. So you can use on demand. So what happens is, when there was no load, automatically it gets deleted, right? This gets automatically deleted, so you don't need to pay anything extra, right? Later point, if you want to scale up and down your VMs, you can do that. Okay, is it clear for you all? Hello.
One thing is not you are creating a. This is also happening only on new VMs. You have to create it, right? You
Yeah,
can't do it
that's
on the existing VMs.
no. So the once the VM is created, okay, you would install your applications, okay, and that's it. You make
Mhm.
that this is high available. It can handle any kind of load for you.
So this has to be. So no, 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 that's okay. The configuration of
Only for the new
this
machines you
VMs,
can
the
do
high
it.
availability machines,
Yeah.
should be configured. Only for the new machines. Can't able to put this
No,
put the already running machines in this.
no.
For example, if in our office we are having a document server, we need to make that document server and the data should be high available. We need to move it to the cloud. So how do we perform that actually?
Migrate your, that comes into the, engineering part. Okay, where you design it. Okay, so I would put it in this way. Say you have on-premises server which is running good here. Okay, this is your new VM. So what you do is either you migrate this VM to cloud automatically, or migrate your data to cloud, and then create your VM under a scale set with the same configuration. You create here a VM, and then move your data, and then cut over your data. Okay, and then you create your scale sets.
I don't fully understand this thing. Could you please explain a bit more? Or if you want to explain it in when the time of migration session, you can tell me at that time.
There's no other migration plan for this actually, but in general, for the scale set, this is the simple concept. Okay, say example, you have data here, you wanted to go for cloud. Okay, what you'll be doing is you will actually uh, take the data, you create a scale set, you migrate the data, entire data here. Okay, and then the scale set, it works after migrating the data. I mean, you can configure whatever you wanted, like CPU or RAM, whatever the rules you want to create.
So basically, the scale set is like configuring a single virtual machine, but we are adding the options, and then we can log in into the single machine and then copy the data. So when it will come up to the 100% of CPU usage or something else, it will spin up automatically the other one.
Yeah, in the backend, technically what is happening is the backend, it's all about a VM, VHD file, right? VHD file and a
Yes.
configuration file, XML file, whatever the. Okay, so it just copies and it replicates the same data in a shared mode. Okay, with another server. So it just spins up a new
Okay.
VM with attaches the same hard disk, similar configuration. That's it.
So in that case, you said it was a dynamic IP, right? Dynamically assigning this
Yeah,
IPs.
even the NLB also
Or,
dynamically
or
does.
for this, so for this first VM, which we need to move the data, will it has a static IP or
It's a
you log
public.
into this?
Okay, you first create one scale set. Okay, you're not in a production now, you created a scale set. Okay, then you migrate your data. Okay, you have already the migration data is available. Now you configure auto scaling. You can configure auto scaling any point of time. Once you have auto scaling is done, that means when a CPU percentage goes like this high. Okay, so what it does is in the background it automatically creates a VM with the existing VHD file and existing VM configuration.
Okay, got it.
Got it? Yeah, good. So that's into the scale set actually. And I'll just take it out because it will be charged for you more than one VM. Uh, or you can delete it if you want. I'm gonna create one more. Before deleting, let me show you. If you see here, these are the storage accounts automatically it has created. Okay, but actual data would be on the primary first one. Okay, hope this also explains to you in your which related to your data. Okay, so it does that replication. If you see, it is for the more than two different ha- storage accounts it got created, right? And if you see the VNet, the same VNet it is using, but instances are increased like IP address 4, 5, 6, right? Spinning 2, 3, and these machines related NLB would be automatically creates here. The backend pool, it created 3 different rules. Earlier it was just the one, after that it has spinned automatically. Okay, so we are only concerned about the just the one. If you want to log into another machine, okay, with the same public IP, say example, now I logged with the 50,000 port, okay, now another machine will have a 50,001 port if you see here. So the same IP, MSTSC, if I go, what was that IP? Yeah, 52.191.163.25 colon 5001. So if I go here, okay, with my password, another machine is available for me, okay. And if I put it here also, CPU load, it might go for, you know, another VM because we have limit of 4. You getting me, right?
Yeah, yeah, getting it.
Okay.
But and if the users log in on 5001 port,
Users,
so when the
users,
load goes,
yeah. Uh, Okay, ask me, please.
yes, yes.
Sorry.
No, I was about to explain the thing. I'm just asking that same thing.
So
When
basically,
the user go to 5001,
yeah, 5001 then.
we don't we don't log into the 5001 port, right?
It's all about the NLB,
When
right?
the
In between the NLB, end user is concerned about only this IP. This is a public
okay,
IP. Okay, NLB
okay,
manages
okay,
dynamically with a round robin basis.
okay, okay, got it.
Yeah, and if you want to take a small 1 minute break, you can take it because I'm going to jump all together to different topics. Okay, it's not related to VMs now. Let me delete this. Okay, now I'm going to talk about networks. We've been, talking about we know now VNet, what is VNet and what is NLP, but I did not talk about a few other options. Okay, say example, you have one office. It's only cloud only scenario. Okay, C only, cloud only. So that means you have different VNets. So these VNet to VNet communication doesn't happen. By default, it is isolated. Similarly, if it is in US, maybe a US 1 data center or maybe West US example, and this is into West US 2. So both the VNets doesn't communicate. Even within the VNet 2 also it is isolated, right? So if you want a connection between these two different regions, you cannot have. But whereas you want to have between these two VNets, what you'll do is you'll do the peering. Okay, you can spin up the VMs in a different VNets where if this is 10 series, if this is 192 series, okay, both doesn't communicate normally. But if you do the peering option, okay, both will communicate. This is the first step. Okay, second one is if I want to communicate with another data region of West US 2, okay, maybe this has maybe 172 series example. So what if I want to communicate with these? So VNet to VNet peering is not possible because the regions are different. It's not possible. So you have only option of going for the uh, site to site option. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll set up something called site to site option. Okay, this is similar. It's not only cloud only. Now if you take this is office 1, Okay, this is Office 2. What you'll do is you'll have a site-to-site VPN. So that means there will be a server, or there will be a router. There would be a router with a firewall device, maybe. So between these two, there would be a connection. So what happens is technically, this office and this office will have a public IP. Okay, let me put in this way. Okay, so this IP, this there is a some kind of software or some kind of device which will dial to this IP. Okay, so it's like you dial a phone. Similarly, it will dial and it will check for the username and password. Okay, so if it is validated, then the tunnel would be established with a encrypted way. So you can take this as a site-to-site VPN. Okay, so a dialing means not exactly dial, but it actually try to reach the that public IP, like a packet try to establish with a handshake model to this uh, device. Okay, altogether, and if it works, it will establish the connection. This is called site to site. That means if a machine is sitting here, and if a machine is sitting here, there is a pipeline already established, so the machine will go over this pipe and it can communicate. Okay, this is second option. Okay, right? So this itself, I would put it in a different way. Okay, site to site, I can say with a blue color. One option would be the, say example, you have internet. I mean, you are getting internet. You have ISP here. You have internet from ISP. That means you both can communicate over the public internet, right? So public internet, both are able to communicate. For example, this user can go google.com, he can also google.com through ISP. Similarly, the packet goes here, and then both will communicate ISP to ISP or over the internet. Basically, this is. So what you can do is here, if you set up a site-to-site VPN over the public internet. Okay, this is sometimes some organizations would start creating office to office tunnel with a, I mean, they don't have a direct line. Okay, there's something called leased line concept. Okay, if you ask your ISP to provide a direct line between your office 1 to office 2, this is called leased line. So there is a backend line direct goes to between two offices. This is called lease line. What if you don't have a lease line, because this is very expensive? What if you have internet connectivity? Here also you have internet connectivity, and these are your ISPs. Uh, Definitely you have a VPN device here. You have a VPN device. So what you can do is you can dial uh, to this IP address. Okay, so over the internet, the tunnel would be established. This is called again site-to-site VPN, but I would put it, this is over the uh, public tunnel. So the data is encrypted, of course, but still it is coming over the public network. Okay, so this is concept of lease line in a normal offices. This is a background you should already have in the networking side. If not, my explanation would help you. If you don't get it, what I'm trying to explain, okay, you can feel free to ask me. This is nothing related to Azure at this point of time, what I'm trying to explain here. Anybody has any question? Office 1 to office connection can be happen in leased line. Okay, or a site to site VPN, which is over the public internet, or can be if it is a lease line, it's directed line. Clear?
What about this IPVPNs currently people are using?
Sorry, what is the
The IPVPN,
IP?
uh, is this related to cloud anyway?
No, I'm talking,
IPVPN.
I don't know, I'm talking about only this, the on-site now.
Yeah, this is the one. Now people are using this IPVPN. It's like a cloud format. For example, we have 5 offices. Every office will be have a IPVPN device, not the least than like point A and point B, like our
Okay,
VPNs. It's like,
MVLS.
so is there anything?
S-
Is this anything related to this cloud option or some? This not.
I'm really don't know on that. I'm a little bit poor in the networking, but I don't know about what is going on this new technology. But this is how I can correlate. At the end, any technology it may come. Okay, at the end, either you have a physical line or you should go to ISPs. Okay, so ISPs will give you one dedicated IP. Definitely, here also you'll have a dedicated IP. So both IP to IP, it would communicate with some device or maybe a software based VPN. This is the in a single word I can say it in this way. One could be a direct line, other one could be a IP to IP with a device or could be a software. That's the only technology I know.
Oh,
Okay, so now what Azure gives you. Okay, so if you have an office in a cloud, example, you have a cloud here, you do have on premises. Okay, how do you establish the connection? You have one option is if you have an internet based connection, you can go for a site to site VPN. Okay, so what as a pre-requirement is you need to have other end, that is on premises, a VPN device. Okay, a VPN device should be available so that it will dial to VPN device and it gets access to this connection. Normally there would be a pre-shared key would be shared. Okay, so that key based it would encrypt, and then connection would be established. This is called site to site VPN. Okay, so in the cloud you have the first one is a peer to peer. Okay, other option is a site to site VPN. Okay, but there is a concern for many of the organizations, like this data is not secured because you're actually routing over the public internet, right? Even though this gets actually encrypted, okay, with the encryption protocols, okay, or with your pre-shared keys, still the data is going over the public internet. Okay, so which we don't want to happen. Example, so in that case, you can contact your ISP, whoever here, maybe AT&T or maybe Airtel or Vodafone. Okay, example. So these guys would give you a dedicated line from Azure data center. Okay, from Azure data center. So this is a cloud side. I said in the left side. Okay, this is into Azure data center to your on premises, a direct line, very similar to a leased line, but it is called express route. Okay, it is costly uh, and very cost effective. I mean costly with uh, very good bandwidth. Okay, here you don't know the bandwidth because this bandwidth is purely depends on both the ends internet connectivity. Even though on cloud you have a very good bandwidth, it a question for your on premises uh, data, I mean bandwidth. Okay, so the third option is the express route. Okay, so I'll put it what is express route. Express route is the third option. Okay, uh, a dedicated line would pull from your Azure data center to, okay, to your on premises. Okay, so this will be a huge big pipe. Okay, tunnel would be established with with a direct line, so the communication would be a private. There is no uh, user data would go on. Others tenants data will not be going in this route. Clear? So now what we have is p2p, site to site VPN. Okay, and the third one is the express route. Okay, now another option is, the fourth one is, what if you have a I mean you have your cloud only example, or maybe you want to host a VPN server here, and there is a developer, or you're working from home, maybe you're traveling, you want to connect to your office. So the normal VPN client, right? We talk about the normal VPN. That's a fourth option. Hope everybody knows the normal one which we are talking about. If you are working from home, you will dial to that VPN server, and the VPN client would is dial to that server, and automatically the connection would establish, so that you would actually communicate with all of your servers within your network, right? This is called VPN, VPN client. So this VPN client, there is a specific name called site, point to site. Okay, P2 site. So point to site. Is everyone is clear? The four options. So in the VPN, for VPN, what you have is four options at least, or the communication in the network can happen in a four ways. Four different options you have. So example, if you have MPLS network already, okay, they do actually support the MPLS network instead of re-buying from the cloud, or re-establishing the entire infrastructure. You can touch with the Microsoft. They would actually set it up the existing infrastructure. They simply attach to the cloud. That is also possible option is available, but again that based on the request. Guys, we are now network admins. So we have option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. Okay, and for the option 1, peering, we will do it. Option 2, site to site VPN. Okay, this for this we need a VPN device. We don't have a VPN device, but what I can try is I can try to set it up a virtual VPN device and try to do that. But I can't promise now this lab and the express route, definitely we can't do it. But these two labs steps are very similar. There is, except choosing one button, there's no other difference in fact. Okay, for site to site VPN and the express route. Okay, we can perform the uh, point to site practical. Okay, we'll also give a try on the this option. Okay, the site to site, but again it's all about at the end the question, if we can simulate it or not, because of the VPN device. If somebody has a VPN device, we can easily do that. In home routers also, most of the time it will be there. In my home router, it doesn't have that. Okay, clear. So we will be doing the point to site. If you can allow me the point to site configuration, I can talk the steps, first steps, and then it takes actually some time to create this point to site, because it will actually spin up in the background a virtual uh, VPN device in the cloud. So it itself takes 45 minutes to complete that step. Clear? Maybe forget about the point four, I'll anyway explain, but you guys have four options. Guys, can you please echo?
Sure, it's a lot of things at once.
Yeah,
First time you're listening about this.
yeah, first time. So that's why you should at least, if we can capture the names, that's a good actually. The
Mhm.
one is a pointer site, other one is the peer-to-peer, okay, and the other one is site to site. This is normal. Okay, the only new one is express route, I would say, express route. Other than that, we did already, I try to put this word in the initial description itself. Okay, hope you guys are at least capture this word, peer-to-peer. Okay, and the site to site, definitely it's on premises one, so you should already know that. Otherwise, it's all about connecting one office to another office with a lease line, or with a VPN device to VPN device. This is called
Taking,
site to site VPN.
yeah.
Okay, and express route is a new word which was introduced by Microsoft. So We have to accept that word. And the new one is VPN client, which we do every day when we are trying to connect from our home to office network. We follow the VPN client. We install the VPN client, or we configure the VPN client, or we dial from the VPN client. All are different based on the VPN client software. In this case, we call it as a point to site. Okay, at least you can expect 5 to 6 questions, at least minimum 5, I would say, uh, on only these topics which I have explained here. And just the theory, not even on the practical. So they may ask you, in what situation, what I mean, best example would be your company says they don't want to uh, send data from one office to other office over the public cloud, because that's the concern for them, and provide any cost effective option. So they might give you point to site VPN, or some other network by a third party, something like that. And also they give you ExpressRoute. So even though ExpressRoute is costly, okay, you don't have any other option, because that's a company requirement. You don't want your data to be uh, altogether travel no, on a public network, right?
Mhm.
Similarly, if you have a developer who is working from home, how do you allow them to communicate? So in that situation, you definitely you need to give a VPN client, but that's called point to site. Okay, Abdullah, you getting right? Abdullah or Ashraf Ali, Kartikeyan, Babu, guys, these are new words. Okay,
Yeah, I'm getting this all.
okay. Please echo. Otherwise, I consider as you're not clear.
It's
Okay.
all good,
Now, if
Vijay.
you're not clear, we'll be asking you, no problem.
Okay, that's a good sign. Okay. Now, to create the the VPN, we can maybe I'll just see if I have anything on my slides to networking concept. Uh, we have 20 minutes time approximately. Uh, so these are the options. Like as I said, this one slide talks about everything. Okay, so you have site-to-site VPN for different locations, like East US to West US. Okay, and you want to connect to your on-premises, then either you should go for site-to-site VPN or ExpressRoute, or to the point-to-site. So this point-to-site also, okay, connects to this. Say example, you have already site-to-site VPN here, okay, and if you're a VPN you're trying to connect here, that means the connection would happen directly from site-to-site VPN also. This is one other slide. Okay, so these are the steps normally. We'll go through the normal creation of site-to-site and express route also. The steps are very simple, uh, and your uh, and your networking guys would help you, or if you are the networking guy example, your your service provider, for example, ExpressRoute would be the engineer who comes from the where for example AT&T or Airtel. The engineer would come, and he would uh, he would be helping you with the configuration too, because it is at the end their responsibility. It comes to provide the connectivity between. Should we make sure that it should be connected, right? So okay, let's go to the point to site. Okay, Azure. Okay, so if I go here, this document gives you, many options. Okay, the first step would be, you can create, if you want to read this document. Okay, you can create the, I mean, this document automatically converts the steps from the classic portal. Or if you want just the Azure portal, you can do that. Or if you just wanted everything to be automated with the PowerShell, you can do that too. So in our case, we'll try it with the combination of Azure portal. Okay, and the little bit scripting side. So what happens is, normally if you look at here, so you have 192.10 series, okay, in a VNet 1. Okay, this is the VPN gateway which we have to create. So the first requirement is VNet to be created. There's something called gateway to be created. There's something called local net to be created, and also VPN client. So what happens is, it communicates with this P2S or whatever SSTP tunnel. Okay, a secure socket tunnel would be established. Okay, let's jump here. um, I mean, this is just the explanation. Okay, just copy this example. In the example scenario, I'm going to create with all these steps with a similar configuration. Okay, so okay, and as a first step, you can search for the VNet, okay, virtual network, and create your VNet. Okay, once you have the VNet, okay, let's create. You guys knows the VNet how to create. So let's go to VNet. VNet is somewhere here, virtual network. Okay, so to create VNet, you definitely need a resource group. So simply spin up one. uh, Instead of that, let's create a resource group. Okay, this is for VPN to site. Okay, Vesius 2. It has created by this time. Come on. Yeah. So now I'm gonna create my VNet. Just follow this step otherwise. So click here. One second, guys. So click here, or if you don't want to follow these steps, just simply follow even the steps which were mentioned in the portal. Okay, so let's try with the purely with the portal. Okay, okay, so let's create one VNet from the rule by going to the plus button. Okay, as per the documentation. Okay, let's select your networking. Okay, virtual network. This is nothing but your VNet, right? So the same steps which we have tried earlier. So here you give as the VNet one. What was the name? Was the VNet one is the name. You can give anything, any name. Okay, it doesn't matter. You can choose. Address space is different. Okay, example this. Okay, and the subnet space is this. Okay, and whatever the subscription you have, you can choose here and then create. Okay, this is actually creating a virtual network. So tomorrow, if you're spinning any VM, okay, so the situation is, what we are going to try is, uh, we'll have a VPN setup, okay, in a cloud. Also, we have a VM, okay, virtual machine within this VNet, okay, or within this, uh, you know, within this IP series, okay, and you will have only internet here as an end user. So what you'll do is, you will install VPN client software on your machine, okay, and you'll dial to the VPN server, okay, and then the VPN server will give you authentication, okay, and then whatever the private IP of this machine is there, okay, that IP we will dial from here, okay, by doing MSTSC, and we should be able to connect with that private IP because the tunnel is already established. Okay, that's a plan. Okay, once we have created the VNet, okay, we can go to the uh, this VNet, okay. See here, you have address space, okay, and you do have subnets also, okay. In the subnets, if you want add furthermore, you can add it, but there's something called gateway. So gateway device should be added. So this gateway device is nothing but your um, so here, if you see here, the gateway device is, I'll put it in this way. Technically, what happens is, this VNet will have a gateway. Okay, that means every IP will have some kind of gateway. Okay, that gateway would route the packet to go out from this VNet. That is the networking guys concept. Okay, so you need to have a gateway. That's called subnet gateway, we call it. So we did configure the subnet gateway. Okay, clear. So let's have a look on it. What was the actually given for us in the lab. Okay, so 200 series, but I did give something else, but still works. But let's delete this and create as it is for you. Most of the things what we have done, everything was mentioned step by step in the step by step instructions, okay, in a how to do section, another way. So I'll just copy this, so that what is happening is, this is a separate series of machines are able to communicate out. Okay, now this has been created. Now now the you need to create something called certificates. Or before certificate creation, let's jump into the portal and see what is there. This is, I don't want this one. So we created a VNet, okay, here, or it is mentioned, created a VNet, then certificates, we'll create a certificates because communication would happen based on certificates. Then you connect, but gateway device is fine. I don't want DNS. I'm gonna do the virtual network gateway, and I'll stop it here because this itself takes 45 minutes time. So after this, we can wind up uh, after creating the virtual network gateway, and tomorrow I'll explain from scratch. But the whoever the subscription is there today, okay, they shouldn't delete it, because again it takes 45 minutes to create this. So simply go to your portal. I'll again explain what I'm trying to talk. Just go to your network concepts, okay. Here you can look into the, sorry, network, okay, or simply go to your virtual network, okay. Here's something called virtual network gateway, right? So you click on this, okay, and then this gets added. This is nothing but your VPN server, okay. You, as I said earlier, if you remember guys, this is your office one maybe Office 2, this is Office 1, that's how I told. So Office 1 to Office 2, the communication related, I said, you create your site-to-site VPN or ExpressRoute. That's the two options I did explain. Also, I did also explain for the point to site, right? Any of these, if you want to do it, you have to spin the virtual network gateway. Okay, what is this? Technically it's a device. Okay, technically, my friends, this is a device, virtual network, I mean VPN device. This is a VPN device, but it's not exactly the VPN device. I mean, it's exactly VPN device, but it is a software based device. So software based VPN device is nothing but your virtual network gateway. Again, I repeat, uh, oh, what happened? What
It's
happened?
fine, Ram.
Yeah.
For a brief moment, I was not able to hear you.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fine.
Okay. So,
Okay.
okay, I'll explain once again, Smash, for you. Uh, Maybe, as I said earlier, I cannot demonstrate site-to-site VPN and ExpressRoute, right? So these two also you would, configuring from this wizard. Okay. This is a device, nothing but your software-based VPN device, which used for the software-based device used for your express route, for site to site, or if you want to create a point to site also, this is the one which would be used. So for almost anything to do with the VPN, software-based VPN is used. This is nothing but virtual network gateway. Okay, that's a device which we are spinning up. If you see here, if I create this, okay, by following all these, if I want site to site VPN, I would choose this. Okay, maybe for express route I'll choose this, that's it. Okay, and then the options would little bit changed. Okay, after creating, it says that 45 minutes. Provisioning a virtual network gateway may take up to 45 minutes. In real world, yes, it takes at least 30 minutes plus. Okay, because in the background it is actually spinning a VPN device for you. Clear, guys? You're getting
Yeah.
me right? Yeah. So now what I'll do is I'll fill these values. If you see here, virtual network gateway name, I'm just giving my VPN device name. Anything can be given, but just for the template I'm giving this. So you choose your VPN. Okay, and in the down, okay, you would be actually configuring your VNet where you have that VNet. Okay, so the gateway type is a VPN, and the route based, because the routing should happen, and you need to have a public IP. If you have the public IP, you can give it, or you can create your own public IP. And then in our case we don't have a public IP, so definitely we can't create. So as a first step, you should have a public IP. So let's go here, reserve one public IP. Okay, that's where your uh, sorry, that's where it will dial, right? Public IP. Without the public IP, client cannot dial. Because always the client here, it dials to a VPN device, maybe a VPN device which will have a public IP. To this public IP it will dial, right? And then it checks for the encryption and the certificate, all those things. Then it establishes the connection, right? Give me, guys, 5 more minutes, 5 to 8 minutes more. Okay, this is my IP. I'll say static public IP. This is my LAN 501 VPN, and then I create this, so the IP gets reserved for us under my subscription was used to. Okay, now if I go here and again I just close this and recreate this virtual network gateway. Okay, by this time it has reserved, right? So my VPN device, actually this is my VPN device in fact. Okay, and then I'll take this, okay, my VNet, and then my public IP I can reserve, or say example, this is in a different region, looks like US2. So I can say my VPN device public IP. Let's create that. So it will assign. Okay. Now what I've done is I gave my VPN device name and the VPN, and then this is the VPN gateway, and this is a billing actually. Billing, if you can look at later point, there's something called basic, standard, high, which would give you bandwidth connectivity. Okay, we'll talk later that, but let's spin up this, okay, with the VNet and public IP, and then simply create. This would I can even spin up this would take at least for me 45 minutes. Okay, guys, I'll explain. This is Abdul Bhai. We need this tomorrow your session, so that what
So
we'll
do
do
one
is,
thing,
yeah.
just log off. I will not do anything.
No, I mean you can keep it, you can work on it, anything,
Um,
but you just don't delete the you know don't
no, no,
delete
no. I'm
this.
not going to delete anything.
Yeah, just
No,
don't
okay.
delete this resource group. Other than that, you can practice by creating multiple resource groups. Multiple things can be spinned up, except this.
No,
Yeah.
anyhow, I'll be starting my lab only by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So you
Okay.
can just log off, and tomorrow we can log in and check.
Okay, sure, not a problem. I'll do that. Okay,
And please don't forget to send the PDF in email.
definitely I'll do that today. I'll do that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, so tomorrow again, I would talk on point-to-point VPN. Why we have? I mean, I was in a hurry from 9:30 to 10 because I wanted to complete uh, this, spin up this 45 minutes one. Then tomorrow I can, spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes on creating the certificates and the client software to download, and you guys can, download that. Then, connection can be established to your VMs. Okay.
Raja,
Yeah.
this is Bobu.
Yeah, Babuji.
Raja, we can stick with the classes on weekdays only. Weekends we can leave it.
Weekdays only, right?
Yeah, weekdays only.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
We can leave it weekends. What about tomorrow? You will be available, correct? Because we are
Yeah,
unavailable
I'm
tomorrow.
available. I'm available.
Okay. Okay.
And 31st Thursday we don't want
Okay,
Raja,
not a problem.
because yeah, because the
It is.
thing is like sorry, not 31st. It's first Friday, next Friday,
Yeah.
1st of August.
Okay.
The
First of
thing is like
September.
the next day is Bakrid, right? So most of the people will be in traveling to our native.
Okay, good.
So we don't want on 1st of September, and we will have as usual from 4th of September.
Okay, sure. Okay. Bakrid is on 2nd, if I'm correct.
Yes, second,
Yeah.
second.
Okay. Okay, not a problem. Okay. Subhash, I can, cover, if you want, the classes on those days. Uh, Maybe I can cover, or I can, help you out, that time for your practicals, or maybe something like that. We can try.
Sure.
Yeah, it's 1 day or 2 days. I think 1 day, just a 1 day. It was okay. Okay, guys. Thanks for session. If you don't have any doubts, you can drop, and whoever have the session, whoever has the doubts, they can ask me questions. This would be clicked OK after 45 minutes here. The successful would message would come after 30 to 40 minutes.
If you log off the
I'm
session,
not going
will
to
the deployment
delete
carry on?
anything from this.
Yeah, it's a background, it always runs. That's a cloud, right? So you spinned up, you try to, for example, you created a resource group and you submitted a job for delete, and simply close your window or sign out. That still, works in the background, right? The job is submitted to your fabric. Okay. Any further doubts?
Thank you.
Guys, actually, I just want to take this opportunity to explain to you most of the things. It was mentioned in a way called how to section. If you go to practical session how to, okay, and then it gives you step by step instructions, actually, not just for the VPN. I'm talking about everything. For example, this is into VPN gateway. If I go to Azure, okay, and the services, we are talking about all the time services. Say example, if I'm talking about the scale set, okay, today's session, you just go to the how to section. Here you have here I mean, this is, we have not yet talked with the Visual Studio, but you can go for this one, okay. So you can use these things to create. I mean, these are the things comes into the uh, I've not talked about, in fact, all these JSON, all those things, but in general, okay, in general, everything is step by step. It was documented. Okay, maybe this is not a good example, or let's see, yeah, from the portal example, this is what we talked about, the portal. Okay, so if you are looking for step-by-step instruction, always go to this docs.microsoft.com/enus Azure, and then look for whatever the service we are talking about, the service. Not all the services. Maybe in my initial demo, I did also talk. There are a lot of services. If you look at for the database, there's Cosmo DB. This is no SQL one. Okay, this is for a radius cache. The database entire thing can be cached so that it doesn't query to the database, but it gives that information to you. So all these are different things which may not are relevant to us, but having a good idea of each of them would be really helps us. Okay, you have all these options. So for them, of course, this is a combination of your exam point of view, or maybe, for example, functions. Okay, functions is a serverless technology. Okay, batch is you're running it hours, hours of job you can run on this, but these things, or most of them, would be used for the developers, not for us. Okay, give it try on docs.microsoft.com and choose whatever the components you want to try. This is a VNet. This is what we have done. VNet. Okay, just go to the getting started and how to, and creating section. So deployment would have how to create section. So here from the portal, how do you create? Okay, step by step it is mentioned. Okay, guys, if you don't have any questions on today's session, we can maybe wind up for the day.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, Gabriel.
yeah. Thank you. Have a good day ahead. Bye bye.